What is Stoicism? The ancient art of living well in a modern world. A guide to live a good life. Of all people, only those are at leisure who make time for philosophy. Only they truly live. Not satisfied to merely keep good watch over their own days, they annex every age to their own. All the harvest of the past is added to their store. Seneca. Imagine holding a private diary written by one of history's most powerful emperors as he prepared for battle. Leading an empire stretching from Britain to the Middle East. Picture discovering the intimate advisory letters of a renowned playwright and political advisor. Navigating the treacherous courts of Nero's Rome. Envision uncovering the lectures of a former slave and exile, whose words on freedom and resilience would echo for millennia. Against staggering odds, these very documents, the personal writings of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus survived the fall of an empire, the Dark Ages, and the passage of 2,000 years. They contain not just historical curiosities, but some of the most potent, practical wisdom ever penned. Together they form the cornerstone of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that was once the bedrock of personal and civic life for millions, from the richest patrician to the poorest laborer, all in pursuit of what the Greeks called eudaimonia, the flourishing, virtuous, and deeply satisfying life. Yet, for the modern seeker, Stoicism often languishes in obscurity, or worse, suffers from profound misunderstanding. To the average person, the word Stoic conjures images of emotionless endurance, a grim-faced person weathering life's storms without a flinch or a feeling. It suggests repression, a cold and unfeeling resilience. This caricature is one of the great injustices of language. The vibrant, dynamic, and profoundly life-affirming discipline of Stoicism has been reduced to a brittle cliché. Furthermore, in a world obsessed with immediacy and material gain, the very term philosophy can seem dusty, abstract, and irrelevant, the domain of tweed-clad academics debating in ivory towers. Now for parents managing chaos, entrepreneurs facing bankruptcy, artists confronting criticism, or anyone grappling with anxiety, grief, or uncertainty. Nothing could be further from the truth. At its core, Stoicism is not an academic exercise. It is an operating system for the human mind. It is a toolkit for the pursuit of self-mastery, unwavering perseverance, and hard-won wisdom. It is something you use, not just something you study. This is why it has been the quiet, guiding compass for so many towering figures across history. Leaders like George Washington and Theodore Roosevelt turned to it for courage and ethical clarity in times of war and political turmoil. Visionaries like Thomas Jefferson and Adam Smith drew upon its principles of natural law and human sociability. Artists like Eugene Delacroix and poets like Walt Whitman and Ralph Waldo Emerson found in it a wellspring of creative discipline and a profound connection to the cosmos. It guided the principled endurance of Frederick the Great and the sharp wit of Ambrose Bierce. These individuals were not passive scholars. They were actors, doers, and shapers of the world. They sought out Stoicism not for intellectual ornamentation, but for its unparalleled utility in living with excellence. 2. Who were the original architects of this system? Their lives are testaments to its universal applicability. Marcus Aurelius the emperor penned his Meditations, not as a public treatise, but as a private spiritual diary, a series of stern and beautiful reminders to himself on how to rule justly, endure court intrigues, and face the endless burdens of leadership with grace. Epictetus, born into slavery, found philosophical freedom long before his legal emancipation, teaching that true liberty comes from mastering one's judgments and desires. A lesson he lived after being exiled from Rome. Seneca, the dramatist and advisor to Emperor Nero, used his letters and essays to explore how to manage wealth and poverty, success and danger, anger and grief, even as he navigated one of the most perilous political environments in history. So, what is the potent essence? These diverse minds, from a Roman emperor to an enslaved teacher, to a Renaissance painter, to an American president, discovered within Stoicism. What is the harvest they annexed from this ancient age? Stoicism is built on a few foundational, revolutionary ideas that transform how we interact with the world. First, it presents a clear divide between what is within our control and what is not. Our own judgments, values, desires, and actions. Our voluntary choices are our domain. Everything else, the actions of others, our reputation, our health, our wealth, the past, the future, is ultimately external. The relentless anxiety and frustration of modern life often stem from exhausting ourselves trying to control the uncontrollable, while neglecting our own sovereign territory, our mind. Stoicism teaches the profound freedom that comes from focusing all our energy on the former and accepting the latter with equanimity. From this flows the practice of virtue as the sole good. The Stoics posited that living in accordance with nature and reason, which for humans means living with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, is the only true good. External things like money, fame, or comfort are not good or bad in themselves. They are indifference. They have value only, insofar as they are used virtuously. This recalibrates our entire value system. Success is no longer defined by outcomes, but by the quality of our character in pursuit of those outcomes. To navigate this, Stoicism developed powerful mental disciplines. The practice of negative visualization, premeditatio malorum, involves contemplating the potential loss of what we have not to breed fear, to shatter complacency, and instill a profound gratitude for the present moment. The view from above encourages us to zoom out from our immediate troubles, seeing our lives within the vast context of cosmic time and space, making petty grievances shrink to their proper size. And perhaps most famously, Stoicism teaches amor fati, the loving acceptance of one's fate. It is the mindset of seeing every obstacle, every setback, and even every suffering as raw material to be woven into the fabric of a stronger, wiser self. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This is the true, vibrant heart of Stoicism that has been missed by its modern caricature. It does not teach us to not feel, but to feel wisely. It does not recommend passive resignation, but vigorous, virtuous action within the sphere of our influence. It is not a philosophy of withdrawal from the world, but one of engaged, resilient, and compassionate participation in it. In a world of addictive distraction, chronic stress, and existential uncertainty, the Stoic toolbox is not a relic, it is an urgent necessity. It provides the strength to face adversity, not as a catastrophe, but as a test of character. It offers the wisdom to distinguish between what deserves our attention and what does not. It builds the stamina to pursue long-term meaning over short-term pleasure. Stoicism is, in essence, the ancient battle-tested manual for building an inner citadel of peace and purpose that no external circumstance can breach. It is the art of turning every experience, good or bad, into fuel for a life, not just endured, but lived with profound clarity, resilience, and intent. This is the timeless harvest. The invitation, as Seneca implied, is to annex it for yourself,